Welcome to the Nobody Knowz podcast with Callie Zamzo. Join us for conversations with local changemakers and hear the stories that don't always get told. It'll be honest, messy and beautiful, touching and humorous. Slow down, pour a glass, and pull up a chair. This is the Nobody Knowz podcast.
Welcome to Nobody Knowz. I'm your host, Callie Zamzo. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to start off with the Zamzo's tip of the day. I don't know why I always say that. It's also the tip of the week. It's going to run the whole week. So today's tip is that we being Zamzo's, a free reseed and repair class for lawns on April 11th. So this upcoming Saturday at 10 a.m. at all stores. And that's in 2026, in case you're listening in the future. At the same time that we are teaching you about how to reseed and repair your lawns, we will have a one-day sale of things that are applicable to all things. That's the one-day thing. So you come to the class, we tell you what you need, you get it at a discount. It's a nice thing. So it will include grass seed, it will include soils, and also a new product. So this is part of my tip is, I don't know whether you noticed, but our winter was a little dry this last year, which means that the valley is going to have some issues with watering. And as thoughtful people in the area, we all will need to be paying attention to our watering this year. And so we're calling this a water conscious year. So that's what we're doing, in case you wondered. So we have three products that actually will help. We have quite a few, but three in particular that will help in this time when we're going to be having to not water as much, but our plants obviously still need water. So we have wetting agents. This is something that you can put on that will actually bring the water, like have the water break through hydrophobic situations where the water can actually break through. I'm going to get all technical with you here. Jody's laughing at me.
I'm just like, when you said agents, I just had something else completely imagined. Like you guys have a team of agents that come and help.
We do. We'll help you. Yes, the little agents.
Different type of
agent,
right,
but you can think that anyway. Think of them as little helpers that are going to help bring that water into the soil and break through the surface. Okay. Then we also have these super absorbent polymers, which a lot of times you'll see like in a hanging basket, and it's literally like the stuff that is in a diaper that swells, and then it will release the water as it dries out, and that helps to keep water in the soil. But my new favorite thing is a product that we have that actually helps condense water vapor. So you can't, the water vapor isn't quite enough for a plant to be able to utilize. So it attracts it helps the water vapor kind of get attracted in and then pull together into full-blown droplets so that the roots can use it. So you spray it down on your grass or whatever you're trying to add more water to, and then it actually will help to hold water. And it can decrease your watering by 50%. And there's science behind this. It's legit. So it's great stuff. So that will also be a part of this one-day sale as well. So you can try that product out. And that's the end of my tip. Hopefully that's helpful. And everybody, if you have questions about watering, please come in and talk to us. We have 1,000 different things that you can do to help with that. So preparing for today's podcast, I was trying to think of things that applied, and there's a whole bunch. And I'm going to mix a story. I guess the first thing is that I was involved with the Girl Scouts as a little girl. I did not make it to the bridging ceremony, but I was a brownie. So if you ever go buy Girl Scout cookies, they're the ones with the little brown vests on. They're usually a little younger. This was in the early 1980s. I know it hardly seems possible, but so that was my first time with the Girl Scouts, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was wonderful. I think sports and other things ended up interfering, but really wonderful. I learned a lot of things. I got to do a lot of cool things, and I remember the first time like feeling like I could actually do something that would make a difference in the world. So those were the very first times of doing that. But then I re-engaged with the Girl Scouts about 3 years ago. And it was when I met a woman named Connie Miller. And in fact, we hadn't actually met in person yet. We had only talked via Zoom because somebody had said, you need to know this woman. So we'd had this conversation. And then for some reason, she decided to invite me to an event called Glamp. And I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody at the Girl Scouts yet. I didn't know any, and I didn't really know Connie because we had only met via Zoom. But for some reason, the description then of Glamp is basically that adult women get to go, and it's at the end of the year at Alice Pittenger camp, the Girl Scout camp up in McCall. And so after all of the Girl Scouts, the season is over for them, they have a couple of weekends after that they then let adult women come, and you stay in the cabins, and they do all of the, you get to learn the little thing, like you get to plant a plant, and everything that you do, you earn a patch for. And you have a sash, and you put the patches on your sash, and then everything is taken care of. It's the food is fantastic. It's all catered. It's wonderful time. You can get a massage if you want. It really is a wonderful experience. And in this beautiful camp. And anyway, I did it on a whim. I ended up making a whole new set of friends that are now these wonderful women that I just adore. And now I'm a regular at Glamp. I just love it. It's so great. So all of that being said, I want to introduce Dr. Angela Hemingway. She is the CEO of Girl Scouts of Silver Sage Council. Welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. And not only did you attend Glamp, you're a member of our board as well. So thank you.
Yes, it did sort of, it led to other things. It evolved. Yeah. It evolved. And it's been fun to be involved with it again. It's such a good group, and
absolutely
such a worthy cause. And it's one of those things where you can actually see things improving and getting better. Like you see girls and you hear their stories, and it's fun. It's like a tangible.
It's inspirational.
It is inspirational. Yeah. It's very cool. So, okay, before we jump into all of my plethora of questions here for you.
Yes.
Would you mind just quickly kind of telling us a little history about you and a little about who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for having me here. And I'm an Idahoan, a native Idahoan. I graduated from Bora High. Go Lions! Woo-hoo! Yep, good old Bora Lions. And so from there, I had an opportunity to go to Boise State University. So I'm also a Bronco alumni.
Nice. Okay. I can woohoo that.
And I really fell in love with not only microbiology and all of the amazing water and plant discussion that you kick the show off with, but had an opportunity to move into teaching. Fell absolutely in love with math and science, and had an opportunity to teach not only at Boise State University, but at a variety of schools here. And from there, I moved into State Department of Education, leading assessment and accountability. Really got really passionate about exams and standards and how we make sure that all kiddos have an opportunity to achieve kind of at an equal level and be able to express that through a variety of different assessments. Luckily then, Governor Otter gave me the opportunity to launch his STEM Action Center, and I continue to do that amazing, phenomenal work under Governor Little. And T-Mobile found me, decided to go from a state level to a national level, and was working as an education advisor, a very large team of just phenomenal humans doing really amazing things around digital inclusivity and making sure that everyone had access to connect. So kind of at the end of COVID, leading some national programming there. And Joanne Leidy, who is our incoming board chair, her and I got connected on LinkedIn, and she said, gosh, we have this position open at the Girl Scouts. And at the time, it was such a phenomenal opportunity to come back and really give my time, talent, my work ethic to Idaho and to a really, impressive, amazing Idaho cause. And I thought, heck, I haven't led the nonprofit sector yet. So let's jump in and give this a try. And then the mission is just absolutely phenomenal. So it's been a really amazing next chapter for me.
You are very energetic. This is the the moment that I met you, I was like, this woman has a lot of energy, and not fake. It's not fake energy. You just are like, it's how you live.
This is me. Yeah. Some of you have known me a long time.
So she's always been this way, Jody? This is
Yeah. Yeah. Just leave it. Incredible athlete and super smart.
Oh.
Always admired you. Still do.
Thank you, my friend.
Love fest in here. I love it. Okay, so why? So I mean, gosh, so that was a lot of different things that you just listed off, and different areas and different. So what made this particular role feel like the right next chapter?
Well, I think for me, it was really that opportunity to combine my passion for service, my passion for education, and then that community building component all into a single role. So it felt as if it was the kind of the culmination of everything I've sort of done individually, now coming back into a single role. And again, the mission to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. Wow. I mean, that just really resonated with me, and having the opportunity to do it, to lead it, to be part of this mission, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like such a good fit. It really does.
It really is.
So what do you think, at least so far? And because it's been over a year now, right? That you've been
about 10 months.
Okay, so not quite a year.
Not quite a year. Yep.
All right. What is different about so far leading a nonprofit versus the other things that you've led?
I think, well, with this, it's certainly the mission, right? So every single day, the mission literally walks in to the office, right? This adorable 7-year-old brownie who's got so much life ahead of her. And so with that, I think the passion that I find here is that we don't just give girls the traits of courage, confidence, and character. We actually believe that the girls already have that strength and that passion and that power within them. And we just want to provide them opportunities so that they can grow, enhance, learn, become that woman they're going to be in the future. And that is just, it's unbelievable. It's not only humbling, it's exhilarating and truly magical that there's an opportunity that exists for these young girls to be able to really see, harness, and reach their potential. And leading that charge, amazing, truly.
See, you're the right person for that job, because it makes me a little bit scared. I'm just thinking about being in your shoes. And which brings me to my next question. Things have changed, and things are different for girls now than they were, call it 1982. I'm just throwing out a number out there. So what are some of those differences, and what are some of the things that you that you're thinking about as you lead this group?
That's very true, right? I mean, girls now have 24/7 access to more information than they can possibly process, right? So they have this access. They are feeling more pressure to brand themselves and to put themselves out there and to put themselves online. And they perhaps, some of them are living in a world that maybe feels a little unsettled to them. I think it's such a different time, and social media and all the connections and networking that they have access to is so incredibly different. But the thing that's really blown me away is that these young ladies are growing up in a time where they're much more socially aware, where they're more inclusive, more compassionate, where they're really more globally minded than any generation ever before them. So when we think of these young leaders, they're no longer are they the loudest or the most popular individuals. They see leadership as collaboration, as kindness, as empathy, and as advocacy. And they are really defining what it means to be a leader, in this new era of technology. I
love hearing that because I think that growing up as a woman, I as it turns out, I had this experience, and I think about there is kind of a part of our lives that can be very challenging as a girl. Mm-hmm. And part of it is the interaction of girls between girls. And I love hearing that maybe that's shifting a little bit, that this mean girl thing, as I like to call it, is maybe lessening because of a general way of thinking and being as the new generation rises. That makes me so happy.
We see it, and that's what we promote within our programs.
Yeah. How do you promote that within your programs?
Yeah, that is an excellent question. I think a lot of people think about Girl Scout activities. So they think about camp, or they think about cookies and, some of these other amazing activities, or even these phenomenal community service projects that girls are doing. And that really is the vehicle. But I think the end goal is leadership, really giving these young ladies the opportunity to find out what they're interested in. Some may love STEM, some may love outdoors, some may choose a robotics team, and others may choose a horse camp. I mean, it really is all over the map. And again, we want to give these girls the opportunity. And the theme that we really, or learning model that we really drive after, is to first discover, identify the problem, what is it you want to learn, and then connect, and then take action, right? So we really want them to have this opportunity to learn along the way, to fail, to be in a safe environment, certainly with other girls and with supportive leaders, both male and female. We've got moms, dads, cousins, entire families involved in Girl Scouts. And in fact, we have 4 generations of Girl Scouts currently involved in our organization. And so giving these girls really a safe space to be able to learn, to explore, to experiment, and to find that inner strength and bring that forth to reach her potential.
It's so great. I was just writing down both discover and fail, because I feel like as a kid, I think that I think things were different back then, because discover for me as a kid was, we would literally be riding bikes around the neighborhood and you just never knew what you were going to run into. And I was the youngest and I was the only girl. So I was discovering all sorts of things that I probably shouldn't have been with all those boys. But I think that is one of the things that maybe has gone away a little bit with electronics. And so I love the thought that what your group is doing is helping girls to truly discover from their heart, not because something was shoved at them or because they saw it on TikTok or whatever, but because they truly are like, ooh, that's interesting.
They're choosing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a huge difference than it either being forced on you or just shoved down your throat or whatever else,
Right. Instead of being just consumers, they are literally creating experiences, creating opportunities. I think you see it when you're out there at one of the cookie booths. I mean, these are little entrepreneurs that are out there pitching their cookies. And I mean, it is phenomenal. I've had a chance to visit some of these booths, and these young girls that maybe last year were the brownie that was so shy, and now they're out there, hey, I got a 5 for 5 sale. Come on in. Oh, you want to support the troops? Operation Cookie is a great way to donate. I mean, the pitches they have. And it's not just the pitches, because as I visit those cookie booths, I always ask them, what are your goals here? What are you doing? And to hear that maybe they want to go to an INL or a Micron STEM camp. Those are something new that we've brought in. Or I mentioned the horse camp. Some of them have phenomenal community service projects they're doing for the, the women's shelter and, different animal organizations, the Humane Society, veterans. It is just amazing what these girls are doing, how they're thinking forward, and just the compassion and the mentality they have to give back.
That's so great. So the other word that I wrote down was fail.
Yeah.
And I think that was another thing that I wasn't done well maybe in my generation. Failure was, we tried to avoid it at all costs. Like a failure was, and this is going to sound stupid, but a failure.
Yeah.
So I was like, it wasn't okay. There wasn't you fail up kind of a thing. It's good. It's actually a really good thing to try something out and realize, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to, and then reframe it and either start over or keep working at it. But I think that was definitely something in my growing up where failure was, there was no way at all that failure was okay ever for me.
Right. And I think that's one thing I know. I grew up with being told to behave, shockingly. And I have now spun that around. Instead of behave, let's be brave, right? Let's be curious. Let's take chances. Let's know that failure is part of the pathway to an even bigger success. Failure is innovation. I think you've all heard the 10,000 times and the light bulb wasn't working, and it was that one time that it worked. And here we are sitting with lights and power. And so again, failure is just a pathway to innovation. And I think we can give our girls safe spaces to fail, and then to find out how to adjust and continue to move forward. So instead of being behave, let's be brave.
I love that. That's great. I got to remember that. How do you then structure Girl Scouts so that you are supporting that and helping to build that courage and leadership and, instead of, I guess, I think sometimes people think it's just a bunch of activities, right? And it's not a bunch of activities. They're all on purpose. So how do you create that framework?
Well, I think, again, a lot of that takes the support of our volunteers. So we have an absolutely phenomenal volunteer base. And again, giving them the tools, training, resources they need to be able to help these girls achieve their badges. Again, you got to remember, Girl Scouts is girl-led. So my second day on the job, that one of the troops was actually trying to earn their leadership badge, and they had to have a panel. So they pulled together a panel of leaders. I was there. Boise City Council Meredith was there as well. So I'm sitting on this panel with mostly brownies, and one girl, again, I'm 2 days on the job, she goes, "Why did they pick you out of all the other people to be our CEO?" Again, toughest question I've ever had. She's 7 and she is looking at me and she's got her finger pointed at me. And again, it's those types of opportunities. She had the confidence to be in that room with her peers, with our amazing volunteers, to ask me those types of questions. And it's just absolutely amazing. So the combination of the volunteers, the wonderful programming we have, the girl choice to decide what badges, what patches they want to earn, what activities they want to be involved in, how they want to, spend their cookie proceeds. It really is, it's girl-led, it's girl choice. And we are giving them these opportunities to try to fail, to lead, to learn, to lean in, and to try again. It's just an amazing program.
Yeah, it really is. So I guess for somebody who doesn't know anything about Girl Scouts, could you just kind of do a high level, the process, if a kid, how young can they start, and how do they kind of make their way up?
Their progression through that? Yeah, absolutely. So we start with our littlest daisies, and those are kindergartners, and we go all the way through high school, so through 12th grade, and we actually now have an amazing alumni group that has started that, like I said, has multi-generations of Girl Scouts involved in that alumni network. So I think Girl Scouting is truly a way of life. It's a way of life not only for that young lady, but also for her family. And so through that, there are a variety of different badges, patches, activities that they can participate in. We essentially have four pillars. One of those pillars is STEM. So we have a lot of badges that are tied into STEM, everything from movie making clear up to robotics, coding, computer science, forensics, lots of different STEM badges that these kiddos can earn, right? So that's one of our pillars. We also have life skills and leadership, and those really, again, life skills, how to live out in the wilderness. We do have a high adventure camp where girls spend a week or two living literally out in tents in the wilderness and learning how to cook over a fire. And I mean, it is a phenomenal opportunity. So life skills and leadership goes clear through girls earning their bronze, silver, and gold award. So if you are familiar with Boy Scouts, there's the Eagle Scout Award, and in Girl Scouts, it's the Gold Award. It is the top award that a girl can earn. It actually helps get them into increased levels should they choose to go into the military. It also counts as their senior project if they do it their senior year. Those requirements are above and beyond what's required for Idaho's senior project. So girls can leverage their gold award while also earning their senior project credits as well. So we have life skills and leadership. We have STEM. We have outdoor education. And again, that's all of our different camps, our amazing water camp that we have up in McCall, and then our phenomenal horse camp and a kind of high adventure camp that we have in eastern Idaho outside of Swan Valley. And then lastly, we've got our entrepreneurship program. And I think a lot of people, they walk out of a store and they see cookies. What I see is financial and digital literacy. So they are swiping cards and they are setting up their websites and they are selling online and selling to friends, but they're also selling out there. They are learning business ethics, so customer service and how to talk to customers. They're learning those sales pitches and confidence and how do you tweak it just a little bit to get that customer to get just a couple more boxes of cookies. Because again, these girls have goals. They are goal setting. How many boxes of cookies do I have to sell to get to horse camp? Doing all that math and those numbers and making decisions on how to get there. Again, just phenomenal entrepreneurs out there, that are doing amazing things. So between the STEM, the leadership and life skills, the outdoor education, and then of course the entrepreneurship program, it's a top-notch program. It really is. Girl Scouts is pretty amazing.
Yeah. It really is. I'm not even sure I realized that there were so many areas to that. Thank you for breaking that out for me. I appreciate that. Speaking of financial literacy, it's one of the things that my husband and I are, we've just recently joined the Idaho Business for Education, and one of our big things is that we're really like hoping that it will be more robust, because we have a crisis on our hands, especially with young people who are just, they're debt ridden. They may never be able to dig themselves out of the hole, and not unless somebody is able to help them, figure out a way and create a plan and to get out of it. I think that aspect is a very, very, very important part of what you do. That these women, when they are, after they've spent some time in the Girl Scouts, have some understanding of that. It's so important. It
really is. And we've got some great partnerships with banks, because every troop has a bank account, and girls know how much money is in there, and they understand how much money they have to spend on a camp, or if they want to go into the store. Some of them want to buy 3D printers or a new computer or some of these other things that they're using their cookie money for. And so we just want to give them those types of opportunities depending on where their interest is. But it all comes back to financial literacy, financial awareness. How much money do you need to make? And therefore, how much money do you have to spend? And then watching that in an actual bank account. It's a really amazing and incredibly unique opportunity for these young girls as well as their families.
Yeah, it's tangible. I think it's really hard to learn all of that stuff when somebody's just throwing numbers at you, and you're on a piece of paper.
When you got fake Monopoly money, and you're just like, not necessarily taking it seriously.
Exactly.
But these girls are taking it very seriously.
Yeah, it connects the dots in a lot of different ways. It's really good. At GLAMP, you always have one of the, and I think they're all seniors or something in high school, but they come and they speak to us and kind of tell us about their journey. I haven't listened to one yet that I wasn't, and number one, didn't cry a little bit.
Yeah.
It's so inspirational. And some of the things that they have been able to work through on their own is it's awe-inspiring.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And on top of it, I cannot believe all the things that they have accomplished.
I know.
I'm like, when I was a senior, I was not doing any of this stuff. What a huge head start they have.
Well, and you might be surprised how many skills you actually took with you as a Brownie that actually carried you through to now. So even being a Girl Scout alumni, the skills they pick up, it stays with them. They internalize them, and they come out in all these amazing and unique ways.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me during that time was just working together with other people, and in this case it was other girls, but just learning how to do that. Regardless of what project we were working on or what we were doing, that was such a helpful thing for me. Definitely worth doing.
Yeah.
What responsibility do adults have in shaping the next generation of girls, do you think? Is that our responsibility?
Well,
I'm kidding.
Not only is it a huge responsibility, I think it's a tremendous and immense privilege, right, for us to be able to be the role models that they're looking up to, right? So we truly, as women leaders, we set the kind of the tone for what girls aspire to become. And again, that's hugely humbling, but they watch us. They watch how we handle setbacks. They watch how we talk with one another. And even more importantly, sometimes they watch how we talk about others when those people aren't in the room. So we truly are the role models upon which they will kind of learn to lead and learn how to treat not only other women, but other men as well. And so for me, if we create that safe, supportive space where girls feel empowered and they have women and male leaders in front of them that resonate with them, I think it's phenomenal. Again, tremendous responsibility, but we're the leaders they're looking up to, and we are the leaders that they are going to emulate as they continue to grow.
I find you, I don't know if this is quite right, but I find you a tangible leader. You feel to me like somebody who's very approachable. You're right in the mix of it. You're not sitting up on a pedestal leading from above. You are right in the middle of it. And you're delightful personality. So I would find, I'm trying to imagine from the perspective of a Girl Scout with you as the leader, what a wonderful experience that would be to see somebody who is confident and capable and getting stuff done, but also super approachable. You'll throw your head back and laugh at things. You're very quick to laugh. What a lovely leader for this particular group. I find you to be just the perfect leader.
knowing, like I said, that we are the role models for this future generation. And if I can kind of embody some of those traits, and there are certain characteristics that, I as a leader have come to understand that I have in myself and that I try to emulate and share with my team. One of those is I try to listen more than I talk. I'm wickedly curious. If I don't know and I don't understand, I'm willing to let others kind of teach me and lead me. I am new to the Girl Scout movement myself, and so I've had a lot to learn. And I have a lot to learn from the phenomenal team, as well as all the volunteers, as well as the girls. Trying to be honest and transparent. I mean, I wouldn't know how to be really any other way. And so that's really important. And then there's a lot of change going on. So how can you be flexible in your thinking, but really show up every day? And that's the first thing when I wake up in the morning. I think about my team. I have some sort of thought in my head or a quote or some sort of daily inspiration. And first thing in the morning, I toss that into our huddle chat and just let them know I'm thinking about you. You matter. And then at night before I go to bed, I just close my eyes for a moment and I say, thank you. Just thank you for giving me this opportunity, because it feels so special and so empowering and so humbling, that just, again, thank you for this opportunity. And so I think living and leaning into gratitude and being authentic about it, it's who I am. It's who I've always been. And so for me, it's really natural. And again, just really fortunate to be leading an amazing team of Girl Scout leaders and volunteers. And then, of course, all the girls and their families.
Well, let's talk about the volunteers, because there are a lot, 1,800 volunteers.
And growing.
That is, it's mind-boggling to me to think about. And it's not 1,800 volunteers all right here. They're across a region.
Correct.
So, because how far does the Silver Sage Council, how it stretches kind of a big territory?
Correct. Yeah. So we essentially from Ontario clear out to a little bit of Wyoming down to Duck Valley, and then so anything in the Mountain Time Zone here in Idaho. So yeah, it's a large territory.
Yeah. So so these 1,800 volunteers are spread across this, and so what are there? Is there anything that you're seeing in the volunteer culture right now that's different than previously? With other volunteers, do you think?
Well, I think one thing we need to keep in mind, certainly volunteering is in the DNA of Idahoans. It's something we do and something we're passionate about, but they don't want just transactional volunteerism. They want transformational volunteerism. So they really want to know that their time and talent and skills are making a difference. They want to be able to see that, and they want it to be tangible. And to be able to work with a troop and see where they started as daisies, and then 2 or 3 years later to see the confidence that these young ladies are having, the curiosity that they're showing, the kindness and compassion. Again, I really feel our volunteers get an opportunity to see that transformational volunteerism in action. And that's what I'm hearing volunteers want. They just don't want to show up for one event or one activity and, host a table and then be on their way. They want to be embedded, and they want to see the change and feel the change that they are also driving forward. So it's really awesome.
It seems like an interesting challenge, because I would imagine that quite a few of these volunteers are their parents of girls that are in the Girl Scouts, which means that, number one, they're from all walks of life, with all sorts of different backgrounds, with all different perspectives, and they've got 1 or 2 or 5 particular people that are involved with it that they love. So there's passion involved with, particularly involved. Yeah. So that's got to be an interesting part of your job. Kind of juggling that, because you are a listener, because you are somebody. How do you do that? How do you manage? I mean, I guess you have helpers, but how do you manage that part of it?
Well, I think it's similar to leading a team, and I know you and I have both had an opportunity to lead large teams, both in the corporate world and for me in the government world, and now in nonprofit. And so, again, it's helping people, one, see their strengths, but 2, see how aligned they are. Even if 2 people think they're incredibly different, I always look for that one thing or that one spark or something that they'll be like, yeah, we've got that in common. And then oftentimes are off and running. And I'm also willing to step in and mediate and talk and have those difficult conversations. I'm certainly not one to shy away from that. So
no,
I'll
you are
sit
not.
a couple people down and say, let's talk this through and let's figure this out and let's figure out how we can, put that in the past and move forward. I'm a big believer in that kind of philosophy that the windshield of our car is very big and that's the future. That's where we're headed. But you still have this rear view mirror to look into it small, though. Mm-hmm. And you look back and you don't want to forget the past, but you're not dwelling on the past. You're looking out that large windshield and pushing forward. And so that's how I work with my team, with our volunteers. Let's find something we have in common and let's, really try to move forward from anything that, might be causing a rift. I know easier said than done, but certainly I believe it's possible. I also am one that can compartmentalize, put things in little boxes and, not ruminate on them and just continue to move us forward. Again, I think we talked a little bit about failure, but when I fail, I don't take it personally. It's not me as a failure. It's I failed at this one activity. I fell off the bike. I got back up and I started riding it again, right? And so I think it's even thinking through those types of things. How do we adjust and admit that, this failed, but I can improve and move forward and I'm not taking it personal. And that's another thing too, is I don't take a lot of stuff personal. And my team, they get so sick of me hearing this, but I say feedback is a gift. Yes. Let someone give me feedback. Not everyone's great at delivering feedback, but I want to be great at receiving feedback.
I feel that.
Right? So, and taking that with a grain of salt, that someone is kind enough to come forward and give me some feedback on how I can improve in any area, I'm always willing to listen to that. It doesn't mean I'll be able to do it or, think it's the best path forward, but I'm willing to listen and take that feedback because it truly is a gift.
Yeah, you and I share that. I'm the same way. In fact, as I kind of worked my way up through the family business, you get less and less feedback because people are less and less willing. They, it gets scarier, right? And now at this point, I will openly ask for it. In fact, the other day we had a general meeting, and at the end of it, I wanted to hear from each one. If there was one thing you could change about this company to make it better, what would it be? And I was like, they're probably not gonna. But man, if I asked them, they were all about sharing it, and it's such a huge gift. But I think I think there's a curiosity part of that too. If you are not somebody, you have to genuinely want to lean in and try to understand it if somebody's giving you feedback. If you are like, give me your feedback, but then you really just want to put it in a box and ignore it, then you're
right. Then they'll stop giving you feedback.
Exactly.
Well, and to your point, I actually just a couple months ago, I ran out an anonymous CEO survey. Had 20 questions on a Likert scale on how I'm doing, how my leadership is, all of these questions, and then some long answer questions. They could put ideas in there. And again, I thank them every day and I read through those and I'm like, okay, they think I'm doing this well, really mission aligned, but here's the areas they're suggesting I can improve. And, I value that so much. And the fact that the team took the time to give me feedback, I love it because then I can continue to grow as their leader, get better in my role, become a better servant for the girls and their families. Truly, feedback is a gift, and I appreciate it every day.
Yeah. What is the element inside of you? If we were to talk to somebody who's listening right now, who's like, I just can't. Like, somebody gives me feedback, and I just shut down, and I don't know what to do with myself, and I want to crawl in a ball and cry. What is that? Because I'm not sure that I think you and I share that, but I don't know. I don't think I know what that is.
For me, it's always been curiosity.
Yeah.
Like I'm genuinely curious about what other people are thinking and perceptions and all of that. And it, again, their perception is their reality.
Right.
It may not be mine, but I'm just wickedly curious. And that's why I became a scientist. And I'm really curious. And I also don't take a lot of stuff personal because very rarely, does someone come at me personally. Right. It's more of kind of a, hey, have you thought about this? Or you could improve here. Maybe we should try this. It's, but even those personal attacks, I'm like, yeah, someone's having a bad day.
Right.
It's just something that I don't take a lot of things really personally, and I'm wickedly curious.
Yeah.
Genuinely, wickedly curious.
And I think when you're open to it, people then present it to you in a way that isn't quite as harsh.
Sometimes.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. But even then, I will spend some time being curious about that. Like, I wonder what happened that they felt like attacking me made sense. And so even then I try to get curious about it and,
Exactly. And you have to be willing to kind of show the messiness. So right now we're working on our 2030 strategic plans. We're building out our vision of the future. and it's messy and it's ugly and it's not well thought out and there's arrows and lines and stuff everywhere in the presentation. But being willing to say, this is kind of where my mind is and this is what I'm thinking. So even rather than waiting 2 or 3 months to present a perfect product and have people go, oh, wow, like we're presenting things that are messy and not complete, and trying to get feedback early in the process to really get buy-in. In fact, I meet with Connie tomorrow. And she's going to take a look at a project I'm working on. It's in the really early phases, but I really need some feedback. So I think, again, getting that feedback, getting them involved in the decision-making process rather than coming and saying, this is the decision, being willing to say, this is what I'm thinking about and kind of the direction I'm, thinking we could head, and then taking their feedback and figuring out how to kind of weave that in as we build forward.
All right. Well, let's talk about building forward. As you look at the Girl Scouts, call it 5 years from now, what are some of the things that you're thinking about and that your team is kind of envisioning?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few things that I have in mind, but I think the biggest thing that I would be driving forward for is for Idahoans to look at the Girl Scout program and say it is one of the strongest leadership development programs in our state, and to recognize that, right? So we're still in the phase of awareness for some individuals. I firmly believe we are. I know we are one of the strongest leadership development organizations, but I need other people to feel it, to believe it, to hear it, to see these young ladies. And so that certainly is one thing I'm driving toward. I think also I want Idaho to be kind of nationally recognized as a place within the United States where girls have these opportunities to grow, to lead, and to thrive. Again, I think it's something we can continue as a state to work on. But for me, these amazing leadership opportunities, of course, I want more girls in the STEM pipeline, want more girls outdoors, want more families involved in, these types of opportunities, and girls out there advocating for issues they care about. But at the end of the day, it's our leadership development program in Girl Scouts that is so incredibly powerful.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay, well, this is a good moment to take a little ad break here and acknowledge Zamzows. This episode is brought to you by Zamzows, your local source for garden, pet, and planet-friendly products. As a thank you to our Nobody Knowz listeners, you can use code COOKIES.
Yes!
At checkout at zamzows.com to receive 10% off your online order. Discount applies automatically and is valid online only and excludes lawn programs. And this particular offer runs through June 30th of 2026. You can even buy online and pick up in store at any of our 12 Treasure Valley locations. So visit zamzows.com and let's grow something good.
Nobody knows like Zamzows.
Okay, we're switching gears now. This is the sharing is caring.
Okay.
So I call it rapid fire.
All right.
But, make it whatever you want to make of this, you make of it, okay? So I will ask you the question, you answer however you like.
Okay.
All right. How about a woman leader who shaped you?
Dr. Linda Clark. Absolutely phenomenal. She was my first superintendent when I taught in the West Ada School District, and her speech that first day I was there and in teacher training, phenomenal. Love her. And then, as you know, she was on the state board for a period of time, and just amazing, an amazing human. And she taught me really that leadership isn't about being the loudest. It's about having the vision and the passion and the drive. Amazing, amazing woman.
That's a great answer. Yeah. All right. How about a book or a mindset that is guiding you right now?
The book that I'm currently listening to is called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Such a good one. Yes.
I love that book. So
I really love it.
Again, how to deliver this top-notch customer service experience. Absolutely phenomenal. But I have kind of the traditional, the Dare to Lead, the Atomic Habits, Crucial Conversations. Those are ones that Speed of Trust, that I always go back to. But right now I'm doing my second listen through Unreasonable Hospitality. Amazing book.
Okay, so you're a reader and then a rereader.
Yes.
Okay. That's I'm always curious about people, because some people are like, read it once and done. That's it. They're good to go.
But there's some books that only need a one-time reading. We won't name those on your show, but there are some goodies that we keep coming back to again and again.
Well, and isn't it interesting that for me, sometimes I will read a book, and if I read it 5 years later, it's almost like it's a different book because my life has changed and my perspective has changed, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even get this the first time around, or or I wonder sometimes if I just am not paying attention when I'm reading. That happens too, depending upon if I'm, sleepy or something. Okay, how about a Boise place that recharges you?
This was a tough one because I am a Sawtooth Mountain girl. So anywhere I can be on the trail, dirty, dusty, working hard, I love it. And for me, it's always been the Sawtooth Mountains. I know that's a little outside of Boise.
I'll take it. I think that's great.
And hikes in the foothills are also phenomenal and gorgeous. Just to be on the trail where, you can kind of let go of things, and it's a journey. That you're going through one step after another. It helps just settle my mind and gets me just really focused. So get me outside on a trail.
So can I just digress for half a moment?
It's your show, of course.
At one of the glamps, one of the auction items was to go on a hike with you.
Right.
And I so wanted to bid on it, but I was so intimidated by the thought, because you were like, you'll need your backpack, because we're going to be backpacking into the backwoods and like we'll be off the grid.
Yep.
And I'm like, don't think I'm going to throw my paddle up for this one. So how long are those when you go on them? Are they like a week long? Or are they like, how long are you off the grid when you go on one of these?
Well, I think the good thing now is that a certain phone carrier for whom I used to work has actually satellite coverage. So I'm connected almost everywhere that I go now, at least being able to send a text.
Okay.
But sometimes they're just a quick one-nighter out and back, and other times 5-6 nights on the trail. Depends on, the weather and the fire situation and everything else. But yeah, I love to be out sleeping in a tent under the stars, the quiet, serene silence. It truly is amazing. It's magical. Idaho's a special place. It's my favorite place to backpack. So it's amazing. I love it.
Another reason why you are the perfect fit to be the CEO of the Girl Scouts. I just love that. Okay, well, so maybe I'll throw my paddle up next time if you do that. I might consider it.
We can do an easy one. We'll just go to, we'll just hike Table Rock. How
okay, all right. I'd be game for that. I could do that. Okay, how about a moment recently when you felt hopeful about the next generation?
Visit those cookie booths. That for me has given me this sense of hope, of rejuvenation, of these young girls that are coming into these leadership roles. They have goals. They are setting goals. They are out there. I leave feeling so joyful and passionate and just uplifted. And our next generation, they're something special. They really are.
Yeah. My favorite booths are the ones where you have a couple of maybe daisies. Is that what they're?
In the little blue vest?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a couple of them, then you have a couple brownies, but then you have,
Some
a teenager.
Yes. More of the tan vests, as they're called.
Yes. Yep. Because you get the full, you get because the little ones are just kind of running around and they're excited. And
they'll grab you by the coat.
Yeah, they have no problem bringing you in.
To the booth.
It's so cute. But then you do have the conversations with them about, what do you tell me what your goals are, that sort of thing. And do that, by the way. I think
Please
a lot of times
do.
people will see a Girl Scout booth and like, oh, they're pushing cookies, and they run to the other entrance to try to avoid them. But the truth of the matter is, engage with them, ask them questions, ask them what they're doing. You will not be sorry. Yeah.
And again, if you're not interested in the cookies, donate them to the troops with Operation Cookies. So leave your donation there. The girls still get the same amount, and your box of cookies goes to active duty military or over to the veterans.
That's awesome.
We'll make sure it happens.
That's so great. My husband and I, a couple of years ago, you had given me a VIP badge, so I could go. So we had 8 of them. So we were going to go to 8 different, so we were going around. This is my husband and I, and we had our whole plan together. And by the time we were done, of course, we had purchased a lot of cookies, way more cookies than we needed. We didn't realize that was an option. So we went to the Dutch Brothers that we regularly frequent. We gave them the cookies, and we went to the Starbucks that we sometimes frequent. And anyway, we just went around. We donated them to people who have been serving, and so that was really fun. And spoiler alert, nobody hates the Girl Scout cookies. They're always happy as a clam to get Girl Scout cookies. And people always have a favorite. They're like, which, by the way, do you have a favorite?
Well, it was Thin Mint, and then our new cookie, the Explore More. Don't you love that name? Explore More. Yeah, the Explore More is now my new favorite.
Ooh.
It surpassed the Thin Mint.
Wow, that's saying something. I don't even know how to feel about that.
What's yours?
I like the Caramel Delights.
Ooh,
yes,
tasty.
They're so good. You got the little bit of a crisp. You got the caramel. You got the chocolate. It's
got
kind
a little
of coconut. Oh, it's so good.
Delicious.
So good.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. It's that time to ask the one question I ask all guests. There are no rules. Answer it however you like. So here's the question. What is something that nobody knows?
So I am a total 80s new wave fan. I love it. In fact, driving over here, I was singing in the car to Echo and the Bunnymen, Lips Like Sugar. Absolutely love 80s new wave. People might think I'm in the car listening to like leadership podcasts, but really it's 80s new wave. So, and you know, I think since we're sharing secrets, I will choose camping over a spa day all the time, no matter what. Room temperature water. I drink that like it is a personality trait. So that's
apparently it absorbs better.
Yep. I don't wear anything pink. I love pink on other people, but I choose not to wear it. And I hate green vegetables. So you can find me on a trail. I will not be wearing pink. I won't touch broccoli or kale. And then I will car karaoke to Echo and the Bunnymen or any other 80s new wave band. There you go.
You are delightful. You are a delightful human. You are a wonderful gift to the Boise Valley, well, to all of Southern Idaho and beyond. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for all you do as well.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
you having me today.
Yeah. And I'm loving being a part of your organization and doing what little part I can do to help. So
thank you so much.
This is great. Okay. Oh, before we sign off though, how if they want to learn more about Girl Scouts, where would they go?
Absolutely. So we've got our Girl Scouts of Silver Sage website, and there's opportunities on there to be able to volunteer, opportunities to be able to donate. My contact info's out there. I'm also on LinkedIn. So again, we are always looking for new partners. And for us, partnership could mean time, talent, or potentially treasure. We have so many different ways to engage in our organization. We'd just love to get connected if people are curious about the work we do and how they may be able to lean in and help support.
And a great group of people.
Really
welcoming, friendly group. So even if you don't have a kiddo and you just want to give of yourself, this is a great organization to do it.
Start with us.
Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. If you enjoyed today's conversation, follow the podcast and leave a review. Next week, we'll hear from another incredible voice shaping the Treasure Valley. And until then, thanks for listening.